Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into the brand new Samsung Galaxy S26 lineup. We're going to break down everything you need to know, from the new design all the way to a wild new feature that might just change how you use your phone in public forever. So let's get right to it. The first thing everyone who's seen these phones is talking about is one specific upgrade. And they're not just calling it a nice to have, they're calling it a real, honest-to-goodness killer feature. So, what in the world is it? You know that feeling, right? You're on the subway, in a cafe, maybe just standing in line, and you're trying to check your bank balance or reply to a private message, and you can just feel someone looking over your shoulder. Well, it looks like Samsung is finally tackling that problem head-on. And their solution is a brand new technology called the privacy display. Now, this isn't just some software trick or a setting you can download. Nope, this is a real hardware and software solution that is, at least for now, completely exclusive to the top-of-the-line S26 Ultra. Okay, so you might be thinking, wait, I can just buy a privacy film for my phone? And you're right, but those have always had big trade-offs. You stick one on, and yeah, it blocks the view from the side, but it also makes the screen dimmer and fuzzier for you. Plus, they only work from the left and right. Samsung's built-in tech is totally different. For you, looking straight on, the screen is perfectly clear and bright. But for anyone else, you get full 360-degree protection, and the best part, you can just toggle it on and off whenever you want. And the way they've baked this into the software is just really smart. You can add a button to your quick settings panel for a super simple on-off tap, or you can tell it to automatically turn on whenever you open sensitive apps, like your banking app or WhatsApp. And get this, it's even smart enough to just hide your pop-up notifications, so a private message doesn't flash on your screen for the whole world to see. It's privacy that just works. All right, moving on from that incredible new screen, let's talk about the S26 Ultra itself, because Samsung has also made some really key tweaks to the phone's physical design and the materials they're using. So a few big things to notice here. First, comfort. The S25 Ultra had these really sharp, pointy corners. Some people liked it, but a lot of people found it a bit tough to hold. The S26 Ultra softens those up with more rounded corners, which should make it feel way better in your hand. The camera design is also getting a facelift. Gone are those separate little camera rings. Now it's a single, clean camera block they're calling the Ambient Island. And finally, a bit of a surprise, they're switching back from titanium to armor aluminum for the frame, which should actually make the phone a little bit lighter. But hey, it's not all about looks, is it? The changes under the hood are just as important, and the Ultra is getting some pretty serious boosts to its camera and overall performance, especially when things get dark. And this chart basically tells the whole story. It's all about light. By using bigger apertures, the main camera can now pull in a whopping 47% more light. Even the telephoto camera gets a huge 37% boost. So what does that actually mean for you? It means your photos and videos at night, or in a dimly lit restaurant, are going to be so much brighter, clearer, and have way less of that ugly, grainy noise. And the upgrades just keep coming, especially for you video creators out there. There's a new horizontal lock feature that literally keeps your video perfectly level, kind of like a high-end action cam. For the pros, there's a new APV video codec, which is basically Samsung's answer to Apple's ProRes. And even the document scanner is smarter. It can now automatically get rid of shadows, your finger in the shot, and even paper folds. Pretty neat. And when you do finally run out of juice, powering back up is getting a major speed boost too. The Ultra now supports 60-watt wired charging. To put that in perspective, that's fast enough to take you from a dead battery to 75% in just 30 minutes. That is really, really fast. Okay, so the Ultra is obviously where Samsung is putting all its shiny new toys this year. But what about the regular S26 and the S26 Plus? What are you actually giving up if you decide not to go for the top-of-the-line model? Well, this is where you really see the lineup start to split apart. The biggest difference, and maybe a deal breaker for some, is the processor. The Ultra gets the best Snapdragon chip everywhere in the world. But the Plus and base models, they'll be getting Samsung's own Exynos chip in most places. Of course, that headline privacy display we talked about, that's an Ultra exclusive too. And finally, charging speeds are staggered, with the Ultra getting the fastest of them all. And really, this all leads to the big takeaway that a lot of early reviewers are pointing to. The S26 Ultra feels like a really big step forward, a true flagship with exclusive features that matter. The Standard and Plus models, on the other hand, feel much more like a smaller, more iterative update, more of a polish on last year's phone than a total revolution. Of course, we have to talk about the one thing that comes with all this new tech, and that's the price.
And this year, brace yourselves because the price is going up across the entire lineup.
So in Korea, we're seeing a price increase between 100,000 and 160,000 won. For those of us stateside, that's going to translate to roughly a $75 to $120 price hike. So yeah, definitely not a small jump, making this one of the more expensive Galaxy launches we've seen. So at the end of the day, it really leaves you with a big decision, doesn't it? This year, all the major innovation is clearly focused on the S26 Ultra. So the question for you is, are those incredible new features, especially that privacy display, worth the pretty significant price premium? Or does this price hike actually make last year's S25, which is now cheaper, the smarter buy?